So, hey guys, thank you so much for joining. My goal is to make sure I share information with you guys, and I'm always delivering content and whatnot, and so you guys can continue to grow, continue to get better, and whatnot. And one of the things I want to do is I want to help more brokers enter the commercial uh, mortgage space. I know a lot of brokers that are doing residential loans, houses, 1 to 4 housing and whatnot, and they're doing loans on that. And there's nothing wrong with that. And by no means am I saying there's a problem with it. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, at the end of the day, I just want us to be able to continue moving and whatnot. So with that being said, my goal is to ensure that I'm always giving a little bit of information on to what you can expect while you're doing a commercial loan and whatnot, and when you help somebody maybe obtain a shopping plaza, or maybe obtain a church, um, what it does for that person and whatnot. So what I want to do here, every time I'm on the road, I'm gonna try to make sure I share something. I may not be dressed up. I may be dressed up. I don't know, but being dressed up, that's not what I'm worried about. I'm worried about getting the information out to you guys. So, first of all, thank you so much for taking a moment to watch me and listen. None of this is written. I'm just sharing. You know what I mean? But before I do all of that, before I start to share, make sure you click below and subscribe. You know what I mean? The more subscribers I get, the more I can share, the more things will be out there for you to learn and whatnot, and it just gets better and better. You know what I mean? So with that being said, so I know there's a lot of people in the commercial industry. Um, there's a lot of people that currently do residential loans, and if you was to send them a commercial transaction, they would have no idea what to do. They would have no idea what the bank is looking for. They would have no idea how to really help you. They would have no idea when you start talking about P&Ls, debt services, and debt coverage ratios. They'd have no idea what to do for you. So my goal here today is, a lot of people probably are going to start tuning in, trying to get this information. But like I said, my goal for this video today is to give you a little information. You know, like with anything, when you're doing like residential, you gotta get the taxes. You gotta know what kind of money they're making, what kind of person you're dealing with. You know what I mean? Because you gotta make sure they can afford it. It's the same thing in the commercial market space. You gotta know that they can afford it. If they can't afford it, then it's not for them. So that's number one. You got to make sure you know that they can afford it. Number two, when you're looking at the business, number one, you don't want the business making for the end of the year with a negative amount, showing that they lost money. It won't make sense when they go try to buy a property and they lost money. It's going to scare the banks away. It's going to scare people away in general because you're not in a good business. So you're going to tell me as a business person, you made money and you spent it all, and then you ended up spending more than what you already had for the business for that year. For me, it doesn't line up. For me, it doesn't make sense. I wouldn't give you money because you're a risk. Okay? When you understand that, commercial becomes much, much easier. So how long do you need? Minimum 2 years. Whether you're doing SBA or a regular commercial transaction, you need at least 2 years. If you don't have 2 years, then you're probably going to end up with a different program. You know what I mean? They have bank statement programs available and different things like that. But 2 years is what they look for. Now, one of the things people always misconstrue, they always think the current interest rate that is shown is for businesses. Right now, you can get 2.75, 2.6, 2.65, something like that in a residential when you're buying a property for yourself to stay in. It's not the same thing for commercial. Okay? Why? Because the property is making money. And when the property is making money, obviously the lending institutions want to reap some sort of benefits from that. So you're typically going to be in the higher fours, higher 4%, fives and up. You know what I mean? I've seen rates as high as 12%. So it does exist. But but when you want to get those kind of interest rates, the credit has to be 700 plus. Even like I would even go as to say like 730 plus. Um, and also the income has to be there. So if the income is there, then it supports. Now, all income for all businesses is a tad bit different. So if you're not familiar with it, you don't know what you're looking at. It can be uh, crazy. It can be something that will drive you nuts if you don't understand what aspects are bringing income, what aspects are being spent, and whatnot. It can drive you crazy. So as a business, one of the things we know is we always ensure that we're assisting everybody, any of our clients to go about doing the right thing and whatnot. So, with that being said, if you haven't subscribed, make sure you hit below. I'll talk to you guys later.